following Jeremy Bullmore and Mark Reed, so no pressure here. So I'm very fortunate, I feel very honoured to be shortlisted for this, and a lot of the themes I think you'll hear today are very much about embracing diversity of talent and of thinking, and something personal to me is about embracing neurodiversity in media. Okay, so neurodiversity, you probably already know it anyway, it's an umbrella term for a number of sometimes invisible conditions, so it could be ASD, which is autism, ADHD, Asperger's, dyslexia, dyspraxia, and more. Okay. Now, sometimes it's hidden, which is also a challenge. And apparently, I think 1 in 7 people in the UK have it. Now, I'm one of the one, by the way. At 39 years and 4 months old, I got diagnosed with ADHD. It's only a few months ago, by the way.
And you know, it made me realise I'm okay now. It explains a lot. It explains the fact that there's times where I felt like I'd balled it up, or times where I felt like I was bored in a job, and it explains why I do consulting now for brands and agencies, and I love the variety, and I can't sit still for more than 2 minutes. It explains things after the fact. It also explains misdiagnosed mental health problems and everything. But what I want to do is help the people who are in my position now to have that space to really thrive and feel belonging, because who knows, I might still be working in the agencies now if I'd have known. I don't know. Okay, so back to the 1 in 7. Apparently there's 26,000 people in media in the UK, 26,500. It is off Statista, so let me off, yeah? But, you know, let's just extrapolate that 14.28%. Let's round it down, fact packet maths, 12%. That's 3,000 people in our businesses right now. Amazing, intelligent, slightly different wired people who can accelerate the outcomes of your business, okay? So let's think about them. So I'm thinking of we love a framework, don't we? 4 S's for you to take forward into your businesses in the next 12 months. So I wrote them down, ADHD. So we've got systems. So the overall thing is about creating systems with safety and spaces and and support. Okay, so systems is having a way of helping people with, it could be, you know, if they're dyslexic and they're a great strategist and they do a great pitch, rather than saying what they're doing, the typos are everywhere, create a system where you have that sense check. If they're autistic, it's understanding people have different social cues. If their camera's off on Zoom, they're not being bad, they're just having a problem. If someone with ADHD goes slightly off-piste on the pitch, they might be onto something because their brain. Trust me, I know about that one. So, and you know, it's creating that thing. Safety. The most important thing is creating a safe environment where they feel like they can say something. Because some people hide this because they feel like it's going to do their career damage, which is a big thing. So we need to take responsibility there. There's also creating spaces. It could be areas with headphones, quiet areas, and creating spaces. And finally, support. Just, you know, being there for them, creating forums, creating representation groups, creating a helpline. Okay? So very quickly, that's 4 S's. One final thing, I did buy a domain. As a planner, I should do better. I haven't really got a great plan yet, but I'm going to be calling upon people in this room to join maybe an advisory board and help shape an initiative to improve neurodiversity in media. Okay, so 4 S's, let's do our bit to really empower these brilliant people in our businesses. Thank you very much.
I may be a future leader today, but tomorrow this industry is going to see my age as a disadvantage. We talk a bloody good game when it comes to DEI, don't we? But we stay silent when it comes to age. So today I present my 3-step manifesto to improve the opportunities for those aged over 40 plus in our industry and those that are yet to join us. Step 1, stop the brain drain. The average age of those working in the media industry is 31, but only 1 in 5 people in media agencies are aged over 40. It's scary to think that in a few short months, I'm going to be an outlier in the industry that I love. Now, where do they go when they turn 40? It's not a rhetorical question. Do you know where they bloody go? Because if we don't identify and address the issues as leading to talent to slowly seep away from our industry, we are losing those that could empower and enrich the careers of future leaders. And that brings me on to step 2. Embrace lived experiences. Our collective failure to embrace older talent means that we are missing out on a wealth of lived experiences, which could fuel our planning and create growth opportunities for our clients. By 2030, it's expected that the over 50s will hold over 75% of the wealth in this country. But be honest with yourselves. When was the last time that any of you delivered a brief which targeted over 50s? Silence. Think of the untapped potential we could be tapping into. And finally, step 3, make entry schemes available to all. As someone who is from a working class background, I'm delighted that we are finally moving away from graduate schemes and scaling back to look at entry-level programs. But university is not the right route for everyone, we know that, and some people are going to make the wrong steps early in their career. But why are we limiting entry-level schemes to those who are young? What a statement of intent it could make to society if we, as a media industry, came together and actively welcomed applications for those who are starting careers later or have decided to pivot into other industries. By stopping the brain drain, by embracing lived experiences, and opening entry-level positions up to all, we're going to address not just a moral issue, but a business one too. Because we all know that inclusive, diverse firms are proven to be not only productive, but more profitable as well. I may be a future leader, but tomorrow, with your help, my age and that of my peers will be seen as an engine room for growth, innovation, and boundless potential.
I'm going to disconnect it and get a bit of movement. So I'm Tashan, that's Tashan, it's over there, and I'm a strategic analyst and coach. Now, I'm part of the Black community, surprise, and also part of the LGBTQIA+ community. And so for my whole life, I've always been cognizant of a couple things. One, I'm quite different from a lot of people. And two, how do I make a difference? For the last decade or so, I've been trying to figure out how I make an impact and show up authentically as myself, and how I do this and be high performing. And actually, what I'm here to ask you today is a plea, is an ask to invest more into diverse talent. Now, the All-In census shined a light across all different intersectional groups. When I'm talking about diversity, I'm talking about everyone. That between 15 and 32% of people plan to leave the industry because they feel a lack of belonging. That's crazy, right? Signs of shock? No. So what I'm proposing is complementary to things that already exist. There's loads of people already doing an amazing job to sort this out. So here are the 5 C's, yeah, we've got 5, to make a difference. Number 1, commitment. And commitment is based on outcome-based goals. So this is saying, this is our target, this is how we're going to measure it, and also having a senior sponsor, all of you, attached to that as well to ensure it's successful. The second one is community. I'm sure in the last few years, we've seen the rise of the employee resource group, identity-based group. But we need 2 more things. We need it to be intersectional, so we're bringing those independent groups together, but also we need another element, which is reach out to the existing communities that are doing that. So we have the likes of MIFA, we have Advertising, Brim, loads of them, and they're already attempting to do this job at scale, so go and have a chat with them. It'll be really cool. The third one, and this has to go in here, coaching. So we've actually tried this at the 7 stars, and people have access to 7 coaches, yes, 7, naturally, and actually people have reported such a sense of empowerment that they have a personal person investing in them. 1, 2, because coaching is particular to the person, diverse talent is brand new. So cookie cutter ways of supporting people aren't going to do it. So we need to empower them to create their own solutions. That was number 3, wasn't it? Number 4 is communication. So what's really important is actually we have so many people from so many different backgrounds. So we need to create a shared language for success because we're all saying different things. So let's get together and understand for your organizations, for you, what does success sound like and how do we begin to repeat that language so everyone's included? And last and certainly not least, create. The creativity, or diversity rather, leads to innovation. It leads to profitability as well. So it's the right thing to do, but we need to create a new platform to enroll the diverse leaders of today to become the future inclusive leaders of tomorrow. I'm Tashan, as you know, and I'm on a mission to make sure that all leaders feel empowered. So if you're with me, join both of your hands together, please. Vote for me, of course, please. And let's put the energy into it, and let's support all diverse leaders today. Thank you very much.
Hello, can you hear me? Great. So I have got precisely 3 minutes to talk to you about mental health in the workplace, how it's affecting our emerging talent, and one action you can take to make lasting change. Now, I probably don't need to tell you why we're in the midst of a mental health crisis, the after effects of a global pandemic, economic downturn, cost of living pressures, culture wars, record-breaking NHS waiting lists, and not in a good way. As well as that, in our workplaces, hybrid working is still in flux, every business is under more economic pressure, and everyone is expected to do more with less. And it's our junior teams, the newest and least paid employees in our companies, who are feeling the sharper end of these pressures. And those who don't necessarily have the means or the confidence or feel they have the permission to speak up when things get too much. I've got a few numbers for you. I wouldn't be from Thinkbox without a few numbers. The total annual cost of poor mental health to employers was £56 billion in 2021. Mental health calls to NABs are up 31% year on year, but up 74% on pre-pandemic levels. And a recent Deloitte study suggests that of young people who have recently left their jobs or intend to do so in the next 12 months, 2 out of 3 say it's because of poor mental health. Now, to try and tackle this issue as business leaders is incredibly difficult. It's a big task, and you'll no doubt have a lot of programs, initiatives in place to help with the well-being of your people. But can we all honestly say that everybody in our organisations feels as comfortable talking about their mental health the same way they do their physical health? Now, I grew up with a parent with severe mental health issues, so I'm very fluent in the language of mental health. But to bring this to the workplace, I became a mental health first aider in 2021. Now, it is a 2-day course. You don't require any previous experience or knowledge in the subject. And much like physical first aid, you train to become a first responder when there's a mental health crisis, but also you're equipped to talk confidently about different mental health conditions, to understand the different definitions, and to be able to spot the signs of mental ill health before they get too out of control. MHFA England has a goal to train 1 in 10 of the population, so I have one ask, a simple commitment from every leader in this room, that 10% of your workforce is trained as a mental health first aider in the next 12 months, and that number is doubled to 20% of the leadership team. There is enormous power in you and your fellow leaders taking time to get trained. Taking a physical first aid course doesn't suddenly signal to your people that you now take heart attacks and burst varicose veins more seriously. But with mental health, it really does make a difference. Help your organisation become more fluent in the language of mental health. Ensure that there's always someone within arm's reach to offer support, and actively demonstrate to your people that you care about their mental well-being, not only as an organisation, but as a human being. Mental Health Awareness Week starts on the 15th of May, 3 weeks away. It is the perfect time to launch your new commitment to your people. I look forward to speaking to you again in 12 months to find out how you've gotten on, the difference it's made, and what you plan to do next. Thank you.